Some stories you could give, like with you and Cam, like legendary type stories.
Legendary Cam stories. I mean, it's so many. I mean, Cam, I ain't gonna talk about Ohio. Nah, I mean, I would say, really just the making of his first album. Making of Confessions of Fire was just a fun experience every night. We was recording a lot in the Hit Factory and Sony, and just being around that environment and seeing how an album was being made. That was like my first time really seeing an artist make an album. I would say a great story is the night that the album was damn near done, and Swiss came through. D&Y brung Swiss through, and he played that Glory beat. I don't know if you know the Glory beat. That's the first song on Cam Confessions of Fire album. And I never forget when he played the Glory beat, like the whole studio just erupted. Like it was just like, yo, this is crazy.
Yo, it's your boy Business, aka the Show Venter. I vent about all your favorite shows and all that. BMF, Power Ghost, Power Force, Raising Canaan, best reaction videos on the internet. This is Love is Love podcast. Get what I'm saying? I got a special guest in the building. Get what I'm saying? Everybody can't come up here.
Nope.
Only, you know what I'm saying? Only people that do legendary shit. You get what I'm saying? Like one of them ones. When it comes to music, fashion, film production, everything, entertainment, you get what I'm saying? You cannot not mention him, you get what I'm saying? Ant Lava, what's up, bro?
What's good? Thank you for having me, brother.
Of course,
thanks for
bro.
the intro.
Of course. Yeah. I got the best intro.
Felt like I was about to get an award.
Yeah. You need a few,
love
though.
Is love.
Yeah,
let's go.
Nah, for sure, bro.
Yeah, let's talk about it. What's up? I'm in the building.
Yeah.
Black Billionaires, we here. Aha.
How you feeling, though?
I'm feeling great. We alive. We here. Let's make it happen, brother.
Definitely,
day,
bro.
You know what I mean? Every day is a blessing in my eyes where I come from, So, I'm happy to be here. Looking forward to a lot of great things going on in the future. Taking it day by day, man. That's all we could do.
Definitely, bro. Definitely. First off, man, shout out to my guy, Rob Jua. He the reason why this interview is happening.
Yes, sir. Shout out Fresh. What up?
Yeah, nah, definitely, man. Yeah, met you the other night, too. He was outside.
For sure, yeah. SelectCon. Yeah, that was dope. That was dope.
Definitely moving around and all that.
For sure. And we went to the Liberty joint after that. We went and crashed the Liberty. Shout out to the Liberty. We went and crashed their celebration at Barclays. Shout out Joe, Rim, my man. Now what? We was all in the building. That was a good night. Shout out to the MVP. I show you how to pick with her, too.
You got an interview with her. You got an interview with her.
That was dope.
That was saying, pulling up, like, whatever we got to do. We outside with it.
Nah, no doubt.
Definitely, bro. So where you from originally?
I'm from Brooklyn.
Okay, what part?
Yeah. I grew up in Fort Greene, Brooklyn, you know what I mean? Then moved to the Star, but when you from Brooklyn, you rep the whole borough, you know what I mean? So shout out to the whole BK. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
We don't keep it neighborhood to neighborhood. I'm known worldwide, all over the city as well. So, much love to Harlem. A lot of people think I'm from Harlem, but
I know how they think that. Yeah.
Shout out to my Harlem fam. It's all love.
Nah, definitely. Nah, a lot of hustlers come out of Brooklyn, though.
For sure. I mean, hustlers come out of New York. That's how we was raised. So, you got to go get it. It ain't nothing gonna be given to you day by day. So, being in the city that we from, you got to go make it happen. I wouldn't say go take it. They're going to say Brooklyn keeps on taking it, but
yeah, y'all going crazy.
You got to go make it happen, man. That's it,
Nah, definitely. So you started your career in music, marketing and promotions, working for Frontline Marketing.
Right.
So take us through that.
Really, like, it was kind of like a double edge for me. Like, I want to say a big shout out to Chris Latimer, because he was one of the guys that first showed me the promo game. And that was around the same time I was interning on music videos. And for me, interning on music videos is how I met people in the music industry and started also doing street team. So, like, during the week after school, I would go and do street promotions, and then on the weekend or certain days when it was music videos, I would work on the music videos. So that's what kind of like built my relationship with artists, with labels, with executives within the fashion world as well, just kind of managing both of those. I was one of those kids, I didn't want to stay in the projects. I didn't want to stand on the corner, be around the way, so it was just like, growing up in Fort Greene, like, right across the street from the project, Spike Lee had a crib. Biggie had a crib. So it was like, you know, you see the hustlers and then you see the guys that you see on TV right across the street. And it's like, well, why can't I live in one of those brownstones or in one of those lofts? I never forget seeing Spike pull up in the hood with the Land Rover, the shit that you see on like in the Safari and all that. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? He had the real Outback joint coming
Crazy.
down Myrtle Ave, you know what I mean? So it was just like, aside from seeing the drug dealers with what they had, you know, growing up in the hood, is like, wow, these guys on TV, they getting legit money. Like, I want to do what they doing. I want to go there. You know, I used to camp out in front of Spike Lee Pop's crib. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Go to the store for a sister, camp out in front of Biggie crib, go to the store
Crazy.
for Faith and the Mafia. You know what I'm saying? And this was like before I got in the game. Just seeing them like inspired me, and it was like, well, how can I be down? You know what I'm saying? And you had to kind of prove your loyalty and do that. But God bless, rest in peace, Clark Kent.
Right.
You know, he was one of the first people I met in the music business. I had went to a Mad Skills video, and I met Clark Kent. Shout out to Carl Verna as well. And Carl Verna was the one that actually gave me my first internship with working on music videos.
What was the first music video?
I worked on a Burning Spear music video. Yeah.
Oh, dope.
From there, like, I worked on like 702 Stilo and a bunch of other videos, and that's how I kind of got introduced to that world. Like, you know, I never forget being on set, and it was like, you're learning the lingo, you're learning how to deal with talent and deal with all of these different people, and it's like, well, you got a network, so on every set you would get like a production book. And I would literally like call half the people, if not probably all of them, out of that production book, just looking for work every week. Like,
Crazy.
I never forget, every Wednesday night, that was my call night. Like, call around, see if you could get on the set for Saturday.
What year was that?
This was in the 90s.
Been a hustler,
in the
bro.
90s.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I was determined fresh out of junior high school, you know. That's what I wanted to do, and nobody could tell me nothing else. So, you know, just by any means necessary, any opportunities that I could get, or any time I could spend time outside of my neighborhood learning and exploring and doing different things, then that's what I was about.
So where you got that hunger from? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, where you got like you got the motivation from that? Like, cause that's early, like
Right.
junior high school, like
Right.
people not thinking about that at that
say
age.
probably, like, once again, the neighborhood, and just being like, I'm a fan of music first, you know, so I think that's what makes my perspective different and my drive different. Like, I always love hip hop. I used to sit on the wash machine Friday nights and tape DJ Red Alert coming on, and tape all of these different DJs. And, you know, so before I even got in the game, I was already a huge hip hop fan and loved the lifestyle and loved the culture. And one of the things, back to Spike Lee, they shot Hip Hop Array in my projects. So growing, you know, we was leaving, going out the crib to church on a Sunday, and we came downstairs dressed up, and they was out there shooting a video. We looked at Mom Dukes like, we going to change. We going to be in the video. Like, you know what I'm saying? So just seeing those different things growing up in Fort Greene, and then you had Eric B. and Rakim running around, and they would bring all of the different rappers to the projects. So it was kind of like destined for me, because I knew, like, that's what I wanted to be a part of.
Nah, that's dope though. Definitely, like, growing up in that, like, that's a bunch of legendary stuff that you just named. Like, that could be like 20 interviews, bro.
That was Fort Greene in the 80s and 90s. It was just like, you had all these different celebrities, whether lived in the neighborhood or just coming through. So it was just like, it was in my face, and it's just like, what you gonna do? Like, you have to make that decision, you know? So coming from a household with, you know, it's 5 of us there. So it's just like, you don't always get what you want, you know, and every time you go to your parents to ask for something, it's for other mouths to feed. You know what I'm saying? Yo, I want these sneakers. I want this coat. I want that. Like, your desires become, well, you're getting older, go get it. And, you know,
Right.
I would say that hustle came from really like packing bags and shoveling snow and, you know, doing shit like that in the neighborhood growing up, just to get bread to go to the arcade, or go get, you know, beef patties with cheese back in the day.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't, you know,
Cocoa bread.
Yeah, it wasn't no chopped cheese yet. You know what I'm
chopped
saying?
cheese yet,
You know what I mean? To go to
Facts.
Laurel's, one of the best sandwich spots in Brooklyn, just to go get a sandwich. And, you know, so, you know, that's where it came from. And really, respecting the OGs that came before me and seeing their drive and them instilling the knowledge in me.
Nah, definitely, man. I feel like you was like ahead of your time though, cause you talking about you doing multiple things,
Right.
and I feel like now today you
Right.
got to do multiple things like to be successful. You can't just be like, all right, I'm just be an actor,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because you could be an actor, right? You great actor, whatever, but your personality. You're not like connecting, you're not like talking
Right.
and all that, so you're not marketable.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So doing multiple things is the people that's winning.
Yeah,
That's gonna win.
yeah. I mean, especially in this game, like in any business, I feel like you got to know when to diversify, and I think that's been a good skill of mine in knowing when to go into this industry and seeing the changes in certain industries. You know, what kind of led me into the music industry was music videos were slowing up. So when you work on a music video, for those people that don't know, you don't get paid that day. Sometimes I would see the video on BT or whatever. The video will be already be premiered, and I'm like, I worked on that. You still ain't get your check in the mail. You know, so sometimes you gotta wait a month, 2-3 months. Some jobs you might not get paid for because the client ain't pay the producers. So it became a constant hustle. Whereas that with the music business and with the street promotions at that time, I knew I was guaranteed a check every month. You know, I was doing other side projects and guys were paying me cash to go have me and my team go out and put their posters and stickers up and go to the clubs and stuff like that. So it was, you know, it was like you got to go where the money at. You know, once this boat
Right.
is sinking, all right, well, it's a yacht over there, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's gonna take us to the land where, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's hella bread over there. So it's just having that vision and be able to see ahead and be able to be proactive and, you know, really utilize the relationships and go out and network the same way we met, being out networking and
Yeah.
really meet other people and really following up. A lot of people, I tell people all the time, like, you could go hang out every night. You could go meet whoever. If you don't follow up, if you don't send that email, that
Facts.
text, you know, that goes a long way. And sometimes
Mm-hmm.
they might not hit you back immediately, but it just shows your effort.
Nah, that's crazy that you say that, bro, because that's like the biggest thing I'll be talking about.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying, with my business partner, Carl, like, following up, because, like, this year alone, like, I probably got, like, 300 contacts, like,
Right.
with different major events. I got crazy contacts on my
Right,
phone, you know what I'm saying?
right.
But, like, it's just about following up and it making sense. So,
Right.
if you need something, like, say if you need a DJ or you need something, whatever, why don't you use, like, hit that person up that you connected with, try to find out ways that y'all could connect, because
Right.
like that's another hard part, like because you meeting all these people, you got to
Right.
find out how can y'all connect, how can you
Right.
add value to them,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's what I'm like trying to like really like.
And sometimes you gotta allow it to grow. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, you know, sometimes you gotta allow it to grow over time. But then also too, you never know that people would just give you great referrals and say, "Oh, I met this guy the other day that does this. Now here's his contact," and then they'll follow up with you and say, "Hey, this person's gonna reach out to you." Oh, word? Oh, good looking. Now I got you on that. You know, so you never know how the universe works and how it's gonna, you know, put you in that position that you would that blessing that you've been praying about. It could be answered through that. So, you know, I strongly believe in people that's out here ghosting people, blocking their own blessings, because we all go to sleep at night and pray. And then you praying for something, but then in the morning you don't answer the text, you don't answer the email, you don't follow up on that call.
Facts.
God gonna not keep sending that blessing to you. You blocked it. So now he gonna go bless somebody else with that same blessing.
Nah, that's real, man. What you mean by follow with the grow? Like,
Huh?
what you mean by follow with the grow? You said follow with the grow.
Nah, what I mean is sometimes you gotta allow the relationship to build. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So, you know, it's just like any other relationship. It's not gonna just start off with, you know, yo, here's the connects, here's the door, here's the bag. You know, you gotta allow it time to grow and build that trust and build that communication. And, you know, and it's not about just always just stalking somebody and sending them a message every day.
True.
You know, it's just about that communication, just
Yeah.
following up. A lot of times, even hey, how you doing? How you been? Goes a long way. People don't ask people that. You know, people just always call when they want something, and it's just like, nah, I'm just calling to check on you, see how you doing. Like,
Facts.
you know what I'm
Facts.
saying? Like, everything
Facts.
good? Like, I ain't see you in a minute, or I ain't heard from you in a minute. Just making sure everything good on your side, and just having that human dialogue to be like, damn, this person give a. You know what I'm saying? So you never know. You know, I'm a strong believer in you don't kick people when they down. You
Right.
know, I never kick people when they down, no matter what they going through in life, because we all been through hard times. So it's just like, the people that held me down showed me that lesson, and I'll always return that favor to people.
Nah, that's real, man. That's real. Like, and just like you see somebody having an event or something like that,
Right.
pull up, support, like
Yeah.
pull up on them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Facial recognition. I feel like that's really big. Like facial
Right.
recognition, people
Right.
seeing your face,
Right.
like just in general.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
It shows the effort.
mm-hmm.
It shows the effort. Even if you got to go for 30 minutes, hour tops, you ain't got to stay the whole time, but you going through and show your face. I mean, I'm very guilty of that. I show about a lot of shit and be like, all right, hour, I'm out of here. But it's like, yo, where live at? He was just right here. Like,
Yeah.
but that's how you got to do it. And that allow you to go move around and go to other different events. But certain people never forget that.
Mm-hmm.
That you did come out and support. You spent your time and your effort and made your way there.
Nah, definitely, man. So I don't get into entertainment records.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, how is it like? I heard that like a lot of times before,
Right.
like, because that was before my time, but I heard I know it's a lot of legendary things that happened.
Now,
So,
shout out to the whole entertainment crew. Shout out Jacob York. You know what I mean? My man Buck. What up?
yeah,
Definitely my man Junior. I mean, that situation came for me at a critical time for me in my career. Shout out to one of the OGs of street promotions, my man General. I came up under General, and General back then you had accounts, and accounts is working for different labels. So if you a promo guy, you can have unlimited accounts because you're not working for just one label. You know what I'm saying? So the guys that worked at the label that was in charge of their promo, they were outsourced to work to guys like General, and I was one of General top soldiers. And I got to a point in my career where we had all these dope accounts and we out getting everything popping for everybody. And I'm like, I want more money.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm bringing people to the team. I'm holding shit down. I want more money. And he was like, well, if you want more money, then you got to go do it on your own. So I had accounts for a while, and then, those guys under them, the Undias office was in my neighborhood.
That's crazy, man. Everything was in your neighborhood, bro.
I grew up in the Fort, but I hung out in Clinton Hill.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So their office was right there, and I used to tear Myrtle Avenue up. So I met those guys, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
My man Buck and them, and they was like, yo, like, you the kid that be doing all this? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, nah, we need you on the team. You know what I'm saying? So it really, it really worked out. And the crazy part about that, like, is I was working with Rocafella at that time before really working there, but I was on their team.
We gotta get into that too.
You know what I'm saying? Right. Yeah. And then because Unina was paying cash, I was like, yo, I'm out. Cash talk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was like, that I'm going, like, I'm out. But that was a great learning experience. That was right after, not too long after Big died, so he had just got the new deal, definitely. And he had just signed Cameron, who was a songwriter at that time. He was becoming an artist. You know what I mean? Cam had wrote Crush on You and a couple other things. So, they were just building that, and with Charlie Baltimore. And I think what worked for me there is I was the director of college radio and, running the street team with some other guys. But then also, too, I knew music videos. And I was a director as well. So all of those early Cam videos, 357, Horse and Carriage, all those Charlie Baltimore videos. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was able to multitask. So I was more of a value to the brand, because it's like, oh, he could go do street promotions all day. And then when we shoot the videos, he know how to also do production. So, that was a great experience, a great learning experience at that time. And that really helped me build my relationship with Cam and Jim and led to the formation of the Diplomats later, because after that, like, I had worked at Loud, then I worked at Sony, and Cam was over at Sony when Under them lost their deal over there, and, other things transpired. So
right. It's crazy, bro, because like you said that, but like that's like making my point what I said before.
Right.
Doing multiple things. So you like valuable, bro. Like I do that, but I do this too. I do all of it at a high level. So get what I'm saying? You could just get that person that just do that one thing, but I'm doing 4 or 5 things.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So
and then it allows you to make
work.
more bread. If I do street promo, you and work on a video, that's a separate check. You know what I'm saying? PAs in that time was getting like $150, $200 a day. You know what I'm saying? So you work 3-4 days, that's another good $800 for 4 days, and you still got to give me my street team check?
Yeah.
I'm caking.
That's tough. That's tough. That's even tough right now.
I'm in high school. I'm caking.
Yeah, so, in high school.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. But yeah, man, you mentioned Cam. I was going to get to that next. But so, like, when did you, like, start to connect with Cam? And, like, I know you was there in the early days. So, like, I know you was big in fashion and everything. You know, you had all the pink and all the furs and all that going crazy. So, what's some stories you could give, like, with you and Cam? Like, legendary type stories.
Legendary Cam stories. I mean, it's so many. I mean, Cam, I ain't going to talk about Ohio. Nah, I mean, I would say, you know, really just the making of his first album. You know, making of Confessions of Fire was just a fun experience every night. You know, we was recording a lot in the Hit Factory and Sony, and just being around that environment and seeing how an album was being made. That was like my first time really seeing an artist make an album. You know, I would say a great story is the night that the album was damn near done, and Swiss came through. D&Y brung Swiss through, and he played that Glory beat. I don't know if you know the Glory beat. That's the first song on Cam Confessions of Fire album. And I never forget when he played the Glory beat, like the whole studio just erupted. Like it was this like, yo, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like another one was the Horse and Carriage remix. I never forget that night where we were in the studio waiting for the record to like give out the DJs and take to the radio. Yeah. And they were like kept mixing it. Like they couldn't get the mix right. You know what I'm saying? And it had like Silk the Shocker, Pun, and all these people on it. And it was like we was in the studio damn near like 4 or 5 in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Mind you, I still gotta go to school the next morning.
Y'all was in Harlem? Where y'all was at?
Nah, we was down the block. We was at the Hit Factory.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So shout out my man Junior. He gonna probably laugh at that story. Like, but yeah, that was some legendary times, and just, you know, it was a family movement at that time. You know, going up to Harlem, chilling with him and Jimmy and 5H when Jim was still in 5H. Those that know about what 5H is, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, really just growing. We had tons of fun on the music videos. We shot 357 in Harlem on 145th. Mace was there. Everybody came out, and, you know, we shot Horse and Carriage and the Limelight Club, and that was a crazy day. And, you know, so it was just always fun times. You know, we had a mission, you know, and you know, everybody was a part of that mission and spearheading that mission. You know, the slogan is "You and the label you signed to." So it's just like we ain't give a. You know what I'm saying? Diddy was performing in the Garden, No Way Out tour. We had a big ass banner. I don't know how big, this gigantic banner that we went into the top of the Garden. And when Diddy, we knew because we was on some of the tour. Cam was opening up for Mace. Cam was performing with Mace on the tour. Crazy. So we knew at one point in the show, Diddy was going to say, yo, cut on all the lights. Right. When he said cut on all the lights, we dropped that banner. Niggas was so sick with us. Like, that was one of the great street team moments, but, you know, we lived up to, you know, the slogan of the label, man.
Nah, that's dope, bro. That's dope. That's dope, man.
Word.
So, like, how was Cam at that time, man? Like, because he was ahead of his time, too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just keeping everything in order and just, like, building. This is before the Diplomats, right?
Right.
Yeah, so how was he, like, at that time? Like, his hunger and all that, his grind and everything?
He was driven, you know what I'm saying? You talking about, you know, that was the era right after, like, Pac and Big had died. So it was just like, where's hip-hop gonna go? So then you had a bunch of new artists. You had DMX, you had Cam, you had all these different artists that was just hitting the scene, even though like guys like Jay and them were already out, but they wasn't as big as what they are today and at that time. Everybody was still grinding. So I think he was finding his sound and really just, putting that sound out there and really building the brand around that, which was dope. But he always had a vision of including his crew. It wasn't just always about him. So even when, he would big up Zeke and Jim, it was just always never just like, I'm the soloist. It's just like, it was always came from a place of a movement, and I think that's what always we were able to resonate that with the consumers. I think, Jermaine Dupri just put up a post the other day on Instagram and said, what happened to the street teams? And I think from my perspective, from coming from that type of marketing, and word of mouth is still the number one form of marketing, it was a connection where I can be in the studio with Cam when he makes a record, right? And now I take that same energy from being in there and take it to the club. And then I give that same energy to my street team, or he comes in there and speak to the street team, and the street team now takes that energy out and give it to the people. And the internet can't do that. So as much as we can see things on our phone, we're all energy. So by us bringing that energy hand to hand and exchanging that with the people and saying, here's a flyer, here's a mixtape, here's a poster, here's a sticker, that was able to create a greater impact than just saying, oh, I scrolled past it and saw it on my phone. So there's something about the human connection that when things are tangible, it connects.
Nah, that's real, man. That's definitely real. Like, and just like the street team's so important though. Like, that's like like you said, human connection. Like, nothing beats that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because you could be lit on the internet, you could be viral, but you got to go outside. Like, you really want to like. Get to where you want to get. And
that was the era you had to be outside. There was no internet. So if you wasn't outside, then you didn't get to experience it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like you wasn't there.
Right. Y'all was just about to say that. Because Cam always say that you wasn't there.
You know what I mean? Like there was
Facts.
no, there was no, 7 days, 7 nights and all the parties and what's poppin'.net. Like all of that came later. So if certain guys didn't have a camcorder in the spot, and that was really, shout out to shows like Video Music Box, they would show us the inside of these events. But it was really the word of mouth of the people that were really there and experienced it, and they went back to the communities and say, yo, we was at the Palladium, or we was at the tunnel and this happened. Like they would give people the story and people could imagine it in their mind, not like just today where it's like everybody just holding up their phones and you're actually missing the magic.
Nah, that's real, man. And I'm going to fast forward it real quick. So, like, you mentioned Mace. So, like, how do you feel about, like they're super successful right now with their sports podcast, sports show. You know what I'm saying? Biggest in the game. It is what it is.
Right. Shout out to It Is What It Is.
Yeah, so, like, how you, like, when you first seen, like, them reconnect, you know what I'm saying? Like, after not talking for a while and all that, you know what I'm saying? They back next to each other. They grew up with each other.
Right.
How that make you feel, like, to see that?
I was happy for them. I like I said, I'm a fan. I always wanted a Cam Mace album back then. Like, you know what I mean? When they was doing Horse and Carriage, I felt like, and it's probably Digger still probably got some records that we ain't hear yet somewhere in the stash. But I always felt like, it should have been like a Harlem World or Diplomat album. You know what I mean? Like just that whole movement. Like the way they had the culture, for influence from the music to the fashion to dancing, it was the total package. So I think, they missed their mark at that time, but they was able to reconnect and make a bigger mark in this time. So, I love it. You know what I mean? It's one of the best shows. I laugh every day when I watch it.
Cam is crazy.
You know what I'm saying? So I think, seeing them together and making people laugh and they really getting to be themselves. They're not sugarcoating it and they saying what they want to say, how they want to say it. That's incredible.
Yeah, and we need that album, though, because they still could do it, because you know what I'm saying? They together, exclusive right now.
I mean, they probably, knowing them two, they probably cooking it up, you know what I'm saying? So, who knows? You know, Cam just said Mace got some new crazy music. So, you know, Cam keep dropping his freestyles.
Yeah,
Right.
he been
He's
going
hitting at
crazy.
something, you know what I mean? I don't know nothing, y'all, so don't start hitting me like
They gonna start hitting him up.
You said Cam got it. Nah, I don't know.
They gonna DM you like, yo, Ant, know what I'm saying?
I ain't got the records, DJs. I do not have the records. I'm gonna put that on the record.
That's gonna break the internet for sure. But yeah, so how important is fashion and looking good when you step out? Like, how important is like image to your success? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like when you going out, like you going to these events, connecting and all that, but you know what I'm saying? Just looking good. Like first off, because people, you know, people have the first impression. How important is that?
I think it's very important, but I think your biggest form of fashion is your confidence. No matter what you're wearing, you know. So, you know, I come from that. I'm an '80s baby, so we didn't have all of these big labels, and you know, we had Lee jeans and Oscars Badash, and you know, whatever we put together and hand me down. So, I think it's your confidence can get you a long ways in any room. You know, so a lot of people think now by wearing certain brands and certain labels that people are supposed to respect that, but then they have low confidence and their frequency and energy is very low. So, you know, I think yes, fashion is important or to always look presentable, have clean clothes and make sure your shit is ironed and smelling fresh and everything else. But it's also too, you know, your confidence. And one of my homies, he always said, your haircut is the best part of your outfit. Because you can have the flyest outfit, but if you ain't got a fresh cut, it make the fit feel trash. So you gotta go see the barber too, man.
Nah, facts. It's crazy that you say about confidence though, because I was me and Rod, like I've been with Rod a lot, like the last couple of weeks,
Right,
and we've been going to different events.
right,
He talk about confidence,
right.
because he basically telling me, like basically teaching me, like him himself. He like, yo, I'm gonna get in whatever. Like I don't care what event we got, I'm gonna get in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And we was in the, you know, we was in Barclays, we in Barclays and but yeah,
we had to share and wow our way in.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So
if you know me, you know what it is.
yeah, so he like, yo, like, oh, you on the list? No, I'm supposed to be on that list.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It don't matter, like whoever, like
we are
that's
the list.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm that. Like even if you don't know.
Right.
Confidence it just goes a long way just in general.
Exactly.
People respect you different, like,
right.
and they don't even know you yet.
Everywhere in life, you know. I would say I'm blessed to walk in any room, and I might not know nobody, but by the time I walk out, people in that room want to know who I am. If I didn't speak to them, they still like, who's that guy? You know. Or sometimes you walk in a room and you're not supposed to be there, but yeah, I belong here, so you can't tell me where I belong. And then by the time you walk out that room, they like, so I'm gonna call you tomorrow, right? No, it was a pleasure meeting you. Thank you for coming out. So it's like, yeah, when you walked in, it was something different. But if you didn't have that confidence in yourself to say, I'm gonna step in here with my good energy and I'm gonna still stand as a proud black person or black man or whatever race you are.
Or black woman.
Or a black woman, you know, and represent yourself and represent your people, because we always are representative of our community. They always expect the worst. So when you walk in and you open your mouth and you can speak confidently and you're knowledgeable and you're educated, then you're more likely to succeed in that room.
Facts. Definitely, bro. So yeah, we talked about Cam, but you also had like a lot of you worked with Little Kim early on too, right?
Yeah. I mean, that was all part of the whole entertainment thing. Yeah. So it's still crazy because I did street promo and then I end up working at Undia's Entertainment. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
So, you know, I was always a Junior Mafia big fan. Like, you know, me and my crew, we was Junior Mafia. The other guys on the block, they was the Wu-Tang. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, it was always that Brooklyn in us that, you know, that Big gave us that swag and that confidence. He talked that talk, you know. So even looking back at it, like, you know, the things Big accomplished by 25 was incredible. You know, for him to write that amount of albums, for him to only be out for a few years. Big wasn't even out. He didn't make it to be out for 10 years.
Crazy.
You know, but for his legacy to live on almost 30 years after he passed, is incredible. So his fashion influence is still here. They still wearing Jesus pieces. They still wearing Coogis. They still wearing Versace
Yeah.
shades. So it's like, it superseded him.
Fire, man. So like, I know you was around in that time. So you talk about Big,
Right.
right? So like, what's some like memorable moments like, you know what I'm saying, working like with Big?
I didn't work with Big personally.
You
You
ain't
know what I
work,
mean?
but
Nah,
from what
nah,
you like
nah.
heard and everything,
So
from what you
yeah,
heard.
yeah. I mean, I had the pleasure of meeting Big a few times, and Spike Lee used to have a store downtown Brooklyn on DeKalb, and I would actually go there. This when artists were doing like meet and greets. They call them meet and greets now. We used to call them autograph signings or whatever. But
Right.
I used to be like the first kid in line there, to go meet whoever. And I never forget. This is when Total first came out, when they just put out the joint and they were gonna be there, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to see them.
Right.
And I go to shout out my man Hoff, and I go there, and one of my OGs from my hood, he with me. And no, he came up there and I was behind the table with Total. I don't know how I don't know how I finessed my way to that, but I was the first kid in line to end up behind the table with them while everybody else getting their joint signed. My man walks by, he comes in like, yo, I'm with him. Next thing you know, Big walks in. So now we back there with Big. So now they think we with Big.
Yeah.
Like, well, we heavy on our Junior Mafia shit now. Mine, like, yeah, we with Big now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
So yeah, that was a cool day, and it was ill because Redman and Method Man was doing an autograph signing at downtown Brooklyn as well that day. And then we walked with Total to the Redman and Method Man joint.
That's crazy. But how that happened, bro? Like how that, like y'all just like how did you like end up back there? You just talking.
It's the gift of gab.
Like, yeah, gift of gab. That's what it is. Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact.
It's hanging in the living room with your mom's friends and all that when they tell your ass go in the room. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I think for me personally, like, I think my relationship with celebrities or public figures has always worked because I speak to them like regular people.
Right.
A lot of people,
right.
As I say, feed their ego. Whereas that I know how to just talk to people and make them feel human. And I think sometimes that's what artists or public figures are missing. They got so many yes people and people around them that's just like feeding the character. And then you get somebody that just comes up to them and have a regular conversation with them. I think they like, oh my God, no, keep talking to me. No, you stay right here with me. Like, so I think that has allowed me to build a lot of relationships with talent, with artists, with different people that are in the public eye because I make them feel normal and be able to have that conversation, whereas that they don't get that normally.
Nah, that's real, bro. That's real. Like, and I can relate to that because I'm around a lot of, you know what I'm saying, different celebrities and all that.
Right.
But I just be myself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
I don't go around people. I'm not gonna get starstruck by anybody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I could chop it up with you about some like regular.
by Madonna. I can't front.
Nah, it's okay. Yeah, that's Madonna. That's
Madonna. I was like,
yeah. Word. You don't know what to say. Legend. Shout out to Madonna.
Word.
But yeah. But like like how you said, like chopping it up like regular people. You know what I'm saying? Because we all people at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's definitely a gift though.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you know how to like talk like and like got away with words.
Right.
And that's going like take you far.
Right.
Every time.
Right. Yeah, for sure. I mean, just to me, treating everybody human.
Yeah.
Even the guys on my street team, I never treated them like interns. I always empowered them. I always shared the knowledge because that's what the OGs that put me on told me. I never forget being schooled and then I'm like, oh, I'm mad smart. Like, y'all put me on. And it's like, nah, what makes you powerful is actually going out in the world and sharing that knowledge. And the more people you empower, that's what makes you powerful. And I didn't understand it at first. I got mad. I'm like, why would I do that? Like, why would I go tell these niggas now? Like, nah, I'm not doing that. And then as I thought about it more, it was like, oh, I get it. And from there, like, it just naturally changed who I was as a person to be able to share that knowledge and share that experience and empower more people based on the access and knowledge that I had.
Nah, that's real, man. Cause like probably like a few months ago, I interviewed like motivational speaker. He be going crazy.
Right,
Shout out George White, the speaker. He was in Dallas, and he was like he his like his goal is to serve.
right,
You know what I'm saying? So like him helping other people.
right,
You know what I'm saying? Like, and you said like giving knowledge to other people and all
right,
that, helping them, like
right,
giving them a gem here or a gem there. You know what I'm
right,
saying? That could like help them elevate their
right,
career.
right,
Like that's like the biggest thing because
right,
like if you got all that knowledge and you built, even though you built it up from the ground up and nobody like a lot of times people didn't help you. You
right,
know what I'm saying? Like really like grind and get to that point.
right,
No matter if they want to. Don't even look at it like, oh, somebody reciprocated or whatever. Just you
right,
just showing love.
right,
That's like the biggest thing, and you're gonna always keep winning after that. You know
right,
what I'm saying? Cause
right.
like you just doing good, like you feeding like the
Yeah,
community and shit. You know
yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah. I mean, you have to empower the next generation. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, even for me, like shout out Legit Check and the whole crew. Like one of my interns, he's now one of the top guys in the hat community. He actually just did a hat inspired by Cam Purple Haze and diplomats. So it's just like even seeing where he's at today and just saying, yo, like, nah, he was an intern for me back when he was in high school.
What's his name?
My man Legit Check.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Bet,
yeah.
bet.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So, it's full circle and it's just like, based on what I put him on to, and now look, in 2024, 2025, he's doing things that inspire him, and that was because of an opportunity that I gave him. So I think, you have to constantly do that and allow people to come up. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It ain't no other way because if guys like Carl Verna and other people didn't give me a shot, then I wouldn't be here today.
Nah, definitely, man, for real. Like it's just like just treating people like equally, like you know what
Right.
I'm saying? Like, cause you just don't know who you're talking to. Like that's
Right.
another thing, but you just
And
don't
you
know who you're
don't know
talking
who
to.
somebody's gonna be and who that person is gonna become.
Yeah.
So even when you look at a situation where like Diddy and Andre Harrell, you know Diddy turned around, he was working for Andre Harrell to now Andre Harrell work for him. So God bless Andre Harrell too. But it's
Yeah.
just like when you look at situations like that, you never know how it's gonna turn out. You look at Pharrell and Teddy Riley. You know what I'm saying? Like for all of the things that Pharrell did for Teddy Riley was super crazy back in the day. But now,
Mm-hmm.
like, look at who Pharrell is today. So
Yeah.
it's like based on the knowledge that he shared with him then. Now look who he is. Now.
Yeah. Definitely. And that made me think of something too. Like, you was around too, like in the early Kanye days too.
Yes.
You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? So, like when you like early on, like when you see Kanye, like you know what I mean, he is what he is now, like legend and all that. But I'm saying like early days when he was like grinding. Did you see it then? Like, did you see like? Cause I know you was like around like with the marketing campaign
Right.
and
Right.
fashion and everything
Right.
like
Yeah.
that.
Go check the credits. My name there.
Hey, lava.
Nah, I mean, Ye was always determined. He was always determined, but also too at that time, hip hop was changing. Hip hop was going from coming out of era of the street rap and hardcore rap a little bit, and more of the underground and backpacker as they would call it. It was becoming more commercial, and I
Hmm.
think he was able to become successful by learning the lessons from Dame and picking up on the things that Dame showed him and exposed him to, and also merging the worlds of fashion and music. And that's the thing about when fashion and music, especially hip hop, come together, it works so well. So even when you look at the '90s with hip hop in fashion, you had the Fubu's and you had the
Yeah.
Maurice Malones and the and all these different brands that the artists wore that drove the lifestyle.
Mm.
Hip hop is just big. It's bigger than the music. It's a lifestyle. It controls everything that we do, things that we consume, from smoking weed to drinking alcohol to driving cars to what we wear to the slang. So it's bigger than just a song, and that's the whole thing about it. So when an artist taps into that and able to embody that and include that and bring a whole new form of the lifestyle that's going on, and that was really a movement that was happening downtown New York and then in Chicago at the same time, and bring that to the mainstream, it's gonna go global.
Definitely, man. Cause I thought about it, cause I was watching a documentary, you know,
Right,
like
right,
yeah,
right. Yeah, shout out
it's
to Cootie and Chike. Those my
yeah,
guys.
yeah. Nah, it just showed like how he was just like a workhorse. Like he
Right,
like in there, like you know what I'm saying, getting the beats, but they not believing it early on. You know
right,
what I'm
right,
saying? But he
right,
just
right,
grinding.
right,
You know what I'm saying? Like so, like that era, it just showed like the people that's successful,
right,
they had that hunger. They
right,
still have it, but like from the beginning,
right,
they was just outworking people.
right.
You know what I'm saying? At
Yeah, I
another
mean,
level.
he had a point to prove. You know, like he was on the label with Jay, Cam, Beans, like all of these top guys. So it's how am I gonna stand out if I don't or try to outwork them or match their work performance? Then I'm not gonna matter. So I think he understood the assignment and he stepped up to the bat and was able to hit that home run.
So did you see like his love for fashion at that time? I know he heavy in fashion now, like with his brand and everything. But did
Right.
he have like that before?
Yeah, I mean, he was always back then. It was we used to call it like it was more weirdo because everybody was still wearing like 2XTs and baggy and everything else, and he would come in with the slim fit and
Mm,
different shit. So it was just like he was on that. Him and Pharrell were on that new wave of switching up the era, but they weren't street guys, and that's the whole thing. So it was just like, yeah, you could still be hip hop and not be street. Like I always
mm,
say, for me, hip hop is always at its best when it is yin and yang. And that's when we have some of the best music. So you think about back in the day, you would have Arrested Development, you would have Das Effects. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
You have to have both sides.
balance.
Yeah, you have to have that, and the crowd sings all of it. And that's the best part when hip hop is winning, where we can get the best of both worlds of it. And then you can have the street, but also have the calm at the same time.
Nah, that's crazy, bro. Because that's the first time I heard that. What year was that?
I
Like
mean,
early. That was early
yeah, I'm
on.
just saying. I just think like the culture is healthier when it's like that.
Mm-hmm.
You can have KRS-One and you can have NWA. Like it's like we have to have the balance. It should never just be all one sided, because then that's when we're all just looked at as that. When it's like, nah, we all don't represent that. Yeah, we all love it. Some of us hate it, but at
Yeah,
the same time, when it's the balance, you need that. You can't just listen to, you know what I mean, saying
yeah.
hardcore rap all day, and the real gangsters, they listen to R&B.
Yeah, I listen to R&B.
The real
You know what
real
I'm saying? For
gangsters, you
sure.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You would never catch them listening to the hardcore rap. They gonna pull up playing the smoothest jazz or the smoothest R&B. Like, but he's a killer.
Nah, facts, man. Yeah, that just showed like ahead of it. Like I was saying, you ahead of your time.
Right.
It's just like, yeah, he was ahead of his time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Slim fit and all that
Right.
back then. Like, and now that's what they doing now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that
Right.
just makes sense. But your time at Sony Music.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? How was that like in your role and everything like that with Sony Music?
Yeah, I mean that was dope. That was a kind of a difficult time for me. I mean, coming from out of entertainment and then going over to Sony, rest in peace to Justo. He was one of the dope guys that started the Mixtape Awards, and working under him was an honor. So, at that time I got to work with, Nas and a bunch of other artists that were over there, and that was really like just a learning process on just once again the relationship based on the other work that I've done. I was able to get that opportunity, but really going from like a smaller label to like the machine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when you work within the machine, it's different from working at the smaller label. At that time, entertainment, you smoking weed in the office, they
Yeah.
popping bottles, it's lit. Like, that's not Sony. It ain't happening.
Corporate.
Exactly. So really just understanding how the bigger machine really operates and taking in those lessons and building those relationships and, being able to be there was a blessing.
Definitely. So in 2002, he was appointed as director of brand promotions for all rock brands.
Mm-hmm.
So Rocafella Records, Rockaware,
Mm-hmm.
Diplomat Records, Dash Films, Armadale Vodka, America Mag. Like that's crazy. Like
Right.
you know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right,
Like
right.
so, how is it like working? Like first off, like how did that happen? Like all together? Like
Well,
how did that come together?
I think, once again, it goes back to the relationship, working with Cam. You know what I'm saying? That started at entertainment. Like, when Cam went to Sony, he called me and I was also over there, and helped him with his project. And, I never forget when I got that call from Cam and he was like, yo, well, everybody probably heard about the famous story that when Dame and Cam and them walked in Sony, and that's how they got out the deal.
Well, people that didn't hear it,
right?
say it again.
You know what I'm
Tell them
saying?
again.
And, it got a little, crazy. So
Yeah.
I think that's probably why they let me go too, because they know I was a part of that crew, even though I ain't do nothing on the record. But so Cam was able to get out of his Sony deal thanks to Dame Dash, and he went over to The Rock, and we just went into the mission when Cam got the Rocafella. It was like, this is an opportunity. We got to make this shit work. We got to win. And I think internally at that time, everybody on Rocafella wasn't agreeing with having Cam being there and just feeling like, oh, that's Dame, man, and da 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 da. And then he brings Aunt Lava with him. So it's like, so I was able to work the Cam project, and then I got later hired at Rocafella. So that's how that went. Shout out to my man Garvin. He was the head of promotions at that time, and I took over for after Garvin. You know what I mean? So from that, them seeing me doing what I did during that time and really also introducing and sitting down with Dame and building a cross-marketing strategy. So it was around the time Freeway album was coming out and we were doing the Think Free campaign and all of that. And just me coming from my marketing background and knowledge is like, well, we want to do T-shirts. Okay, so why isn't Freeway T-shirts state property T-shirts? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And right, can we get the T-shirts? Oh, can y'all pay for half of the printing too? So it was just really introducing this really cross-marketing strategy to save the artists more money on their budgets and have them pick up other, the other brands pick it up. So it's really working with Dame and bringing that life to Dame, like, saying like, okay, if we got this project, you got all of these brands and because all of those companies are separate companies.
Right.
But how can we now say, okay, this is this project, what brands fit a line with this album and with this artist? Now, how can we get them involved with the marketing tools and the marketing plan? And that's going to make the project last longer. That's going to make the artist seem bigger, because fashion companies and brands can give an artist more exposure than a label can. So when you have,
that's a gem right there.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, that's just facts. So, you look at it, for example, an artist's budget for marketing could be $250,000. A fashion's marketing budget could be $5 million for the quarter.
Sheesh.
You see what I'm saying?
Crazy.
Like, so how do you get to be a part of that $5 million play and also gain way more exposure for the talent? You know what I mean? So being able to do that and present that, that's how we was able to cross market and save the artist a lot of money, but also gain a lot of exposure. And then with the brand spin, the artist doesn't have to recoup. So if Rockaware spent, $500,000 on the Jewels campaign, Jewels don't have to pay that back. And whatever he sells out of that, he keeps all his money. If they only sold 3 of them same T-shirts he was wearing, then they keep their money.
Yo, that's crazy, bro. That's wild, bro. Like that's game changing right there, bro. It's like, cause nowadays, like, you gotta recoup, like, oh, you get $1 million in advance, $2 million, but you gotta recoup that. Right. You know what I'm saying? Now you feel like you in a bad deal, whatever, and then that's when that come around, people trying to get out their deals. But you talking about fashion, so, and it makes sense because the diplomats, like, they're like trendsetters.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Jewels with the bandanas, Cam with the pink and the fur and all
even
that.
Like Jim Jones being in the LRG ads back in the day. Shout out to the whole LRG crew. Rest in peace, Jonas. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, that helped Jim's career so much being on an independent like Koch. Remember, Jim was the only artist that wasn't signed to Rocafella. You know, Jim didn't have a deal there, a solo deal. Cam and Jewels had solo deals within Def Jam and Rocafella, but Jim didn't. So for him to go to Koch and be independent, if the label deal, a major label deal marketing budget is $250, Koch is probably only $50.
Yeah.
But now you get a company saying that they're gonna spend $1 million. It's a no-brainer. You know what I'm saying? It's a win-win for the talent, but also for the brand. It gives the brand lifestyle and street credibility, and it gives the artist great exposure without having to recoup and pay back nothing.
Yo, that's the key right there. That's the key right there. Not having to recoup. Yeah.
Right.
But it makes sense though, because like all of them individually, like Cam, Jim, and Jewels, like they always just putting it on. Like they always, like you think of them, like of course they got the bangers and all that iconic with the music, but the fashion was like one of the biggest things.
Right.
And to put it together like that, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And like your help on that, like what you bring. It's game changing, and they need to start doing that nowadays.
Yeah, I mean,
with artists.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
for real.
you know, a lot of artists, but that's the difference when you look at, you know, major artists versus brand artists. You know, I don't want to offend nobody and say no names, but you know, you see certain artists that are great at music and they're great at talent in music, but then you see an artist like a Rihanna who doesn't have to put out an album for 8 years, and she's a brand. You know, she hasn't gone on no tour, no this, no that, but she's making way more than somebody who has a #1 record and has to tour the whole world just to make a fraction of what she's making as a brand. So, you know, it's I tell every artist that I work with and just talent, be a brand. Like, you know what I'm saying? Be a brand. The artists that are brands, you know, I think it was an article or somebody said, artists that sell streams are millionaires. Artists that are brands are the billionaires. And when you look at the Kanyes, the Jay-Z's, the Rihannas, and whoever else, like they are brands. So
it's crazy that you say that, man. Because like as soon as you said that brands, one name came to mind, right? Snoop Dogg.
Right.
Like
Drake.
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, like you know what I'm saying? Like Olympics, I think he made them over $1 billion, like more than that.
Right.
Cause he's a brand. He ain't even put out he don't even got to put out no music.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? Like he could
Snoop
go on.
Got like 30 endorsement deals at one time. He's selling you Corona, the non-crimes wine, this, that, smoke grills, rolling papers. So he understood the value and the power of him being a top artist, but also a brand to say, oh, you know how many shows I would have to do to just make the same amount of money? And I can go into a studio and do one commercial and do some social media posts and I'm good.
Yeah.
So, you know.
It's crazy,
You
bro.
choose it. It's business. It's about the bag.
Definitely, man. Like, I don't know.
I'm about profit over perception, so.
That's real. I think somebody said something like, the music business is like 99% business. Like 90% business and like 10% music.
It is. And I think people should start to reverse it, you know, and call it business music. Because if you don't handle your business, then the music don't really matter. And you know, and that's why we continuously hear artists complaining and saying, oh, they jerk me. They jerk me. No, you signed the papers and you didn't handle your business. So many artists don't read their contracts and know what they negotiate, and they just think, okay, you're gonna give me the money, you know what I mean? Right. And then they just want to run off. One of my favorite quotes is from Suge Knight. He says, "You want to be rich or you want to be famous?" And a lot of artists gonna say they want to be famous, and he like, all right, I want to be rich. So then when the artists come complaining, it's like, you wanted to be famous, right? I made you famous.
Nah, that's real.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's like,
that's real, yeah.
All right, that's your choice.
Yeah. Nah, facts though, because they see like the big, 2 million, but read the fine print.
Exactly. You know, TLC was one of the biggest groups in the world, and they was broke. #1 record, triple platinum album, sold out tour, broke. You didn't read the paperwork.
Crazy.
And now it's even worse because at least back then they were selling tangible products. I think part of the decline of the music business is that nothing is no longer tangible. So there's no more really good magazines to hold. Like there's no CDs, there's no vinyl, there's no cassettes. Like it goes back to the human connection I was saying. You
Mm-hmm.
know, when people have something physical to hold, it builds a different connection. So all artists tell you now is, oh, follow me on Instagram, go to my Spotify, go to my YouTube. Everything is still through the technology. You know, guys like, you know, the Griselda guys and especially West Side Gun,
Yeah.
he's been able to maximize and use merch as a way to, you know, make an impact and really make up for that. But other artists still don't look at it like that. They, you know, I don't know, some of them may think it's corny or not, but it's just like the money is in physical products. We're still humans. No matter how much you do digital, it still needs you still need something physical.
Nah, shout out to the whole team too, the whole Griselda.
For
You know what
sure,
I'm
for
saying?
sure.
Yeah, I interviewed Amani Caesar
Okay, okay.
a couple months ago. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right, right,
I
right.
love what they doing though. You know what
Right,
I'm saying? Like you
right,
said, the merch and all that, and
right.
just like building it up from the ground up. Like they got real life fans in person. Like you know what
Right,
I'm saying? That could pull up on them on shows and all
right,
that.
right,
Not
right,
not
right,
just digital. Like you
right,
said, you need
right,
both.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like yeah, get it from all angles.
Right. And once again, he's utilizing his relationships and doing what Ye did and building with the fashion community. And he was running around with Virgil and he's at Paris Fashion Week and he's making himself a brand outside of just the music.
Nah, definitely, man. And we was talking about Rocafella, but we can't forget Hove though. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? The biggest of the biggest.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, how is it like working like with Hove, or just like around him, or like just knowing like his mindset back then, his mindset now,
Right.
and just what he like brung it to now? Like,
Well, I would say Rockefeller was a family. You know what I'm saying? You know, a lot of the staff, we were all young and coming up together and we were all determined. You know, I think by the time I joined the team and that crew, it was started to be more divided. So I was kind of always looked at as Dame people because I came in with the Harlem crew. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So it's like, oh, you with Cam and them, you with Dame. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So I think, you know, at that time they were headed towards, you know, their split or sell of the business. So I think, you know, yeah, we've worked together, but it was never like as much as I worked with Dame and Biggs, you know what I'm saying? So like the day to day was really working with them, but you know, definitely like it was memorable moments working with Jay, like when he did the big concert out in Memphis, when we did the show at the Garden that turned into the movie. What was it, Fade the Black? You know what
yeah.
I mean? When we did the whole Fade the Black joint, and you know, I came and joined like around the time of like the Gift and the Curse. You know what I'm saying? The Gift and the Curse 2 and all of that. Yeah, with Gift and the Curse. So it was like, you know, a lot going on, you know what I mean? And Jay was already kind of like, I think in the early stages of building what he was, you know, set out to build and building Rock Nation and starting his as Dot Carter deals and
You
things
know
like
around
that.
what time that was? Like what year? Like close to
This
or
early 2000s.
okay.
Yeah, this all early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, it was a lot of that, you know, and it was a lot of always different changes going on a higher level. So, you know, you know what I mean? It was just we the crew was determined. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, you know, go back to, you know, one of the great things about working with Dame is it was always transparency. So that's what I think made it dope. Like everybody knew the mission was and was able to get that goal accomplished without having to go back to them to get the approval, you know. So if
Right.
we know that this needs to be done, you coming to tell me for? Go do it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's about us winning. So, you
Mm-hmm.
know, me going in, I just knew that I wanted to make my mark there and really help break artists. And that's what you know, I feel like I accomplished, even though some of those artists' albums didn't get to come out, you know, like the Nicole Rays and Rel and I would have loved the PD Crack album to come out. And,
Mm-hmm.
so it was so much dope shit in the pipeline that, was building that never got accomplished, but I felt like that would have been super dope,
Nah, definitely, bro. So film and video producer, like, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because do the fashion, music, and all
Mm-hmm.
that, but film and producer too, like
Mm-hmm.
that's just like doing multiple things. Like I was
I
telling you.
directed videos for Fresh. He ain't tell you that?
No, you didn't tell
You
me
gotta
that.
look those up. I directed Raw Fresh videos. Look
What?
those up. Yeah.
Yeah, he did say that you gave him a chance early though.
I directed like 2-3 videos for Fresh.
You go by Rob Drew now if you don't know. Yeah. What?
Yeah, facts.
What videos? Like
Facts.
early on?
Yeah, go look up Raw Fresh and you're gonna see. He's gonna say directed by Air Lava.
Dope.
Yep.
So like, how did that start? Like, in like that part of your career, like film and production and directing and all that. Like, how did that come together?
It just came from, once again, like I started as a PA, and for people who don't know what that is, that's a production assistant where like you're an intern, you got to do whatever, like you got to sweep the floor, help the camera people, like you learn every department, and from there, I worked my way up to being a second AD, and second AD really works with the talent and works with all of the rest of the crew to make sure the talent has what they need, but always is on point to get the job done.
Right.
You know what I mean? So really, like, coming from that background and just understanding how production works, it was like, okay, make it ourselves, because we didn't always have the equipment or the opportunity to just make our visions come to life. We didn't have a lot of money. So it was really working with artists and talent, or, people that had scripts, and just saying, like, we're going to just guerrilla this shit and make it happen and pull all our resources together and make it come true. So,
Nah, definitely, man. You work with some legendary people too, like in
Right.
that field.
right,
You know what I mean, first off, Benny Boom.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like working with legendary, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
director
I mean,
like
the crazy
that, like
story
and everything
about,
like that.
Benny Boom and them is I met Benny Boom. Benny Boom was probably like the key PA, and I was like a younger PA, like a junior PA. You know what I mean? But a crazy story is it's so funny. We was just looking at this the other day at the In Vogue event, but I worked on Missy Can't Stand the Rain.
Wow.
Right?
That's crazy.
And
crazy.
on that set, I built great relationships with Little X, who's a great director, Benny Boom, and actually the equipment that Little X, I remember this, the equipment that was used on Missy Can't Stand the Rain, the next day they went and shot like a Core Mega video with it. So it was like we shot the Missy video for damn near 24 hours, and they was like, yo, we'll give you some more bread, because we're going to take the equipment and we got to write down a block and we're going to go shoot something else. So it was like really a double up, you know what I'm saying? And then once again, like it was just that determination. Those guys came up under Hype and just working with Hype.
Williams.
Yeah, and shout out to Rich Ford, who was the producer on a lot of those jobs, and worked on them with Foxy Brown and Blackstreet Take Me Home, and just being a part of these historical visuals that were very impactful and stood the test of time within hip hop was incredible to be there firsthand, but also build the relationships with those people and learn and just see it in live time and live action. I remember going back and telling my friends, nah, it's gonna be crazy. I'm telling you. But the crazy thing about the Missy video was
The Can't Stand the Rain?
Yeah. We never heard the song on the set. Because Hype was using some new type of technology. So that's why when you see those effects, it was like the video was playing like Chopped and Screwed. The song was playing Chopped and Screwed.
Yeah.
So then when I saw the video for the first time, I was like, oh, this is what we did. Oh, this is incredible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And even the dope part about that is, which is very rare in my eyes at that time, was they dropped the video, then they put out the song.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
Bro.
It wasn't like the song was like this hit record and then they dropped this amazing video. You know what I mean? To me, it was like the video came out and everybody was like, oh, this shit is incredible. So, Missy and Timberland and that they were
Mm-hmm.
extra super creative. And also, June Ambrose and Roger and
Shout
that
out to
whole
June
team,
Ambrose.
and what they
Mm-hmm.
did. And, like
Mm-hmm.
it was a synergy. And that's why, like, I used to, desire to work on that set with Hype and those guys, with Hype and Carl and Rich Ford, because that crew was like a family reunion. When we get there
Mm.
6, 7 in the morning and we setting up on the trucks and everybody like, oh, you working today? Oh, you working today? Okay, it's gonna be a good day. It's gonna be
Yeah.
a good day. So, the teams of people that made those visuals come to life, it was actually a great relationship and synergy going on behind the camera that was just so magical. And that's why I think like a lot of that hype work and those visuals from that time were able to come to life like that, from the grips, from the lighting to the DP to the wardrobe team to the production team to the producer. Like everybody was like this. So when you have that going on, it's only gonna resonate to the talent in front of the camera and make it dope.
Yo, man, that record, man, that's like one of the biggest ever.
Yeah,
Like that's
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah,
I think
yeah.
that's the biggest record though.
Yeah, I mean, just to
One of the
see,
like one
yeah,
of the
just to see, in history, like I said, there's a Vogue documentary out, and shout out my boy Eddie, he's one of the dancers in the video, and we at the Peter Paul screening the other night, and it's like he's literally right behind Missy doing the rain dance or whatever, and it's like, wow. So it's just like still in this day and age, it's still looked at as like one of those go-to for female hip-hop videos. And to be there that day and be able to work there was incredible.
Nah, definitely, man. The rain coming down and all
Right, right. Yeah, nah, that was a dope day.
Nah, for
That was
sure,
a
bro.
dope
That's
day.
iconic.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, man. What's some advice you can give somebody, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's trying to build their brand. Like they starting from the ground up. I
Mm-hmm.
don't care what like industry they in.
Mm-hmm.
Females, makeup, clothing line, rap, like guys, rappers,
Mm-hmm.
female rap, whatever. Like they trying to build a brand. They trying to like what we was talking about
Right.
earlier.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think the best advice I could give anybody is every loss is a lesson.
Yeah.
Every loss is a lesson. So you can't be afraid to try it, and if it doesn't work, sometimes it doesn't work because you have to learn from that. And that's
Mm.
one of the lessons I learned as an intern, whether it was in music, whether it's in fashion, whether it was in film, is you learn from your mistakes, and that's what's gonna make you great. And then you know what to do and what not to do moving forward. So you might think like, oh, this is super dope. This is the greatest. This is the greatest. And the thing that you don't think is so dope, that ends up being the hit. Like I tell all my
Mm.
producer homies, like the beat that you think is trash, watch everybody buy that beat.
That's
You
real
know what
though.
I'm saying?
That's real.
Like,
Yeah.
so it's always, you can't be afraid to try, and every loss is a lesson, but at the same time, know when to, as I say, remix, know when to diversify.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what I think has made me, impactful within the culture, is knowing when to diversify. I knew when it was time to stop doing videos and start going hard at the labels. And then I knew when it would stop, when that was a little bit finished, to go hard in fashion. You know what I'm saying? So being able to diversify and take what you learned from one industry and apply it to another industry. So I think a lot of people, you know, do things and then it's like, it's mine, it's mine, it's mine, it's mine. Companies are built to be sold.
That's
The
real.
companies are built to be sold. When you look at the greats, they would have never got where they, achieved their goals if they didn't sell that main company. Russell had to sell Def Jam, but look what he built. Elon had to sell PayPal, and look what he built. So you can't be afraid, because sometimes you selling that one company or brand, if you can get to that point of selling it, now it can fuel all your other dreams. Oh, I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to do that. Sell that and go do all of those things.
Nah, that's crazy, bro. Like what made me think of that too, like what came to mind was 50 in the vitamin water.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like that deal.
Mm-hmm.
Like he built that up and then, you know what I'm saying, sold it for how much million
Right.
or whatever. You know what I mean? And now he like in TV now. But it's
Right.
like just knowing, like how you said, knowing when to switch it up.
Right.
And like when you said that you left the labels alone and you went to fashion,
Right.
now you're going crazy. You get what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
Like just gave me, you know what I'm saying, black billionaires and all
Right.
that. That hoodie, I'm actually gonna wear that because
All
it's
right,
fly
for sure, for
with
sure.
the hat.
No doubt, no doubt.
You know what I'm saying?
No
Like,
doubt.
so how was that transition like? You know what I'm saying? Like, when did you know, like, I want to transition in fashion, even though you came from fashion too, like with
Right.
Dipset and everybody like
Yeah, I
that,
mean,
Jim, Cam, like
I was
early on.
always in high school. I was doing fashion shows. So I was doing
Mm,
fashion shows at my high school. You know, shout out to Rico. He used to work at this. My man Rico. He used to work at Pure Players, and Tamiko at Davucci, and I went and built these relationships. Like so, in the back of the Source, the Vibe, all these magazines, all the people that took out ads, it used to be their address and a phone number. At
yeah.
the back of the magazine, the last page would be everybody that advertised in the magazine. And that's how I built those relationships. And we would call, and some of them would, fuck with us. And then we were like, one day I was like, man, you know what? Let's take the train to the city. They right there in the Midtown. They right around here. We gonna pull up and just go to the door and be like, and they're like, what? Who? Like, who are y'all? Like, who are y'all kids? Like,
Yeah.
nah, look, I had a one sheet and everything. Like, this is what we gonna do. I gotta have the teachers call and vouch. It's official. We not gonna steal the clothes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think from there, that always inspired me, and just, shout out to the architect of it, and Dapper Dan. Seeing,
Yeah. Yeah.
seeing the visuals of the Salt and Pepper jackets, the Eric B and Rakim and the LLs, and knowing that a black man made that, and just super dope. Like, I think nobody has publicly said this. Dapper Dan made Louis Vuitton clothes before Louis Vuitton made Louis Vuitton clothes. At that time, we were seeing it in music videos, on album covers, and he was doing all of these things for all of these artists, the Salt and Peppers and Eric B and Rakims and the LLs and everybody else, and just seeing those visuals. So, that really inspired me, being a hip hop fan. And then we couldn't go get those jackets and clothes anywhere. I didn't have no Dapper Dan money. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, like the first Louis Vuitton clothing didn't come out to the late 90s, and that was made by Marc Jacobs. So a whole decade before, Dapper Dan was in Harlem making these brands clothing before the brand even made it.
That's crazy. That's wild, man.
So
yeah.
I don't think nobody gives him the credit for that, especially within the fashion world.
Yeah.
But it's just like understanding that, like, that's exactly how it went. And those bigger companies shut him down, and then later took the swag and took his concepts and took what he was doing, because that wasn't even a part of their business ecosystem or motto. He created and developed that in the urban space, in the hip hop space, and it went global. And because they couldn't eat off of it, they shut it down. But he created that whole lane.
That's crazy, bro, because I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I see Dapper Dan now and all that, you know what I'm saying, going crazy with the Gucci collabs and all that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But to know that, it's crazy. That's why, that's real information that people need to know. That's why.
Right.
Yeah,
they was only selling luggage and bags at that time. You know what I mean? He took their design, or even for us seeing logo printed on clothes everywhere. I don't think nobody was doing that before him. He took that concept from, like he said, a hustler came in there with the Louis Vuitton pouch or whatever, and he was ordering, and he was like, these symbols, how can I take these same symbols and put them on clothing? Because everybody was going crazy over that bag. But I don't even think, when you look back at fashion, it wasn't logomania. Like, he created logomania at the same time creating high fashion brand clothing. They weren't even doing this. Fashion designers weren't even doing that. So what he did was so revolutionary and ahead of his time, was that the brands shut him down, and then had to catch up and then mimicked what he did years later.
That's wild, man.
Yeah,
That's crazy,
yeah.
man. I actually I put up to one of his events. I think early this year we had the
Okay.
Gap collab
Right,
in Brooklyn.
right.
Yeah, like
Nah, that's dope.
that
Nah, I'm
collab.
happy for
Yeah,
everything you're doing. You know what I mean? I think, it definitely give him his flowers while he's still here, and hats off to him. Like, he's the architect of the whole shit. Before it was really urban fashion and black brands for that I knew of, it was Dapper Dan. And then it was later all of the other dope brands that came out, but that still wasn't high end. They were more affordable, but he was really the master of custom. You couldn't just go in there and just say, all right, I want this jacket. No, the jacket is made for you.
nah, definitely,
So,
man. It's crazy, man. Like when you mention the architect and you talk about fashion,
mhm.
I thought of Misa Hilton.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Right. Definitely,
her style,
definitely.
yeah, her
I mean,
styling and
yeah,
everything.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
all the
yeah.
video, all
Misa,
the
June Ambrose, like,
yeah.
they created, as she said in the Vogue documentary, Ghetto Fabulous. You know what I'm saying? They were able to take this larger than life, image, and that we saw that wasn't a part of us, but also bring it to the masses and bring it to the culture and make us want to look like that and live like that and live better. So
Nah, definitely, bro. Like, so you going crazy with the fashion right now. You know what I'm saying? Black Billionaires collection,
yes.
all that. You know what I'm saying? You all over in all these fashion shows going crazy. What's next for Black Billionaires and all them other shows you got going on? You got to make sure you give me an invite every time because I'm gonna be in there. I do the media and all that. I cover it.
You gotta get
interviews
you a
and
new
all.
photo shoot coming up. You know what I'm saying?
No, bro, I'm gonna hold you to that though.
Right.
Yeah, the next one I'm in there.
Right. I mean, the crazy, the story behind Black Billionaires came during the pandemic. I knew, during the pandemic, I just wanted to create something different, and I had another brand, and it was actually a design I created for that brand. And I showed it to my homie LB, and he's a super duper fly guy. He's dope with the graphics and fashion and everything. And he was like, nah, that's your new brand. And I was like, huh? He was like, nah, don't even like launch a whole nother company. And this was still in the middle of the pandemic, and we created this event called the Pop-Up Picnic along with my man Brian, my man DJ D Rob, and we did it free in the park in Brooklyn. And I printed up 50 shirts, 100 shirts, 50
Okay.
white, 50 black, and 100 hand towels. Shout out my man Duke the God. So I went to Duke the God. I was at Duke the God crib uptown and was like, yo, I want this design. I want to make these shirts. And I didn't promote it on social media, no nothing. We just promoted the pop-up picnic, come out the crib, come to the park. We got live art, we got music, we got DJs, we had the chef there grilling up. And really it was just something for people to do during the pandemic where it's like we wanted to make the club without a doorman in the park. You pull up, you bring your own food, your own bottles, whoever
Yeah.
you want. If you want to take your mask off, sit on your mat with your people and do what you
because
do.
pandemic time.
Exactly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And by the end of the pop-up picnic, we did that for a couple weeks. The shirts was gone. So I would go around to all of the different people that came out and be like, yo, if you buy a shirt, I'll give you a towel. Buy a shirt, I'll give you a towel. And I was wearing the shirt every week. You know what I'm saying?
That's important.
Yeah, so that was
important.
the birth of it. It was like, yo,
Yeah.
where you get the shirt from? Where you get the shirt from? So people would be like, and it's still hot. It is the summer. So they're like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll buy the t-shirt and take the towel. People were coming back the next week. Like, if they bought the black one, like, yo, I need 2 white ones. I need a black one for this person. You know what I'm saying? Like, because now they were seeing the reaction of it. And really, I really wanted to create something that was empowering for us. And also that would, spark a conversation.
Black people.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
And it was really, I'm social, as you've seen, as we met out,
Facts.
I'm a very social person. So we were now in this non-social state. Nobody wants to talk to nobody. Nobody wants to stand next to nobody. I'm saying during the pandemic.
Oh yeah.
So I wanted
for
to
sure.
create something that would spark an intelligent conversation. I think sometimes people wear certain brands to make other people feel inferior to them. I wanted to sell
That's true.
inclusion instead of exclusion. And I think a lot of brands, their whole messaging is like exclusion. This is exclusive. You can't get this. This is
You
flyer.
can't
This
talk
is
to me
better
because
than
I
you.
got this
Yeah.
on. I'm at 5K on the fit. You can't talk to me. Shit
Exactly.
like,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? So for me, it was really about the reverse of that. I wanted to create something that people will say, yo, that's dope. Yo, I fucks with that. Yo, what is that about? And really to have that intelligent conversation for those of us that are in business or are creatives or, it's more than just about money. It's a lifestyle. It's a mindset. Like I always say, like before they came and stole us from Africa and stole everything from us, we were already black billionaires. So if you don't think you a billionaire in your mind, then that means you still living off the brainwash side of it. For me, I know we was kings. We was living it up. We had the palace. We
Yeah.
had the jugs of wine. Like we
Right.
know where we come from. We had all the gold. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? So it's just like it's really bringing back that mindset and putting it into the future from what was already stolen from us, and really bringing that into the present, but also sparking that intelligent conversation amongst people. So that was like the birth of it, and then from there I launched my the first collection came out like 2021, and from there we just been rolling out nonstop. I think what's next for the brand is to continue to grow and do other things. Like we have our home decor, some new home decor pieces about to drop for holiday.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
That's
And
crazy.
yeah, so just really expanding the bottom line of the brand and doing different things and just having fun with it. I think it's been great feedback, and shout out to everybody around the world that's been supporting the brand. If you liked something on the page, if you modeled for the brand, and definitely if you bought something, continue to buy. Hurry up and buy. So yeah, I just been having fun with it, man, and just bringing good energy to it. I love the response and that I've been getting publicly, and the support I've been getting from people. And like I said, I just wanted to do something else. Like it go back to what I was saying about, like you said about advice. Like I've worked with many different other people on brands, but it was never my brand. I was always a partner. I was always promoting someone else's brand.
Mm-hmm.
And now for me to create a brand that I created and it gets the response that it's getting, it felt good to me. Especially like when the OGs call and say, yo, I like that shit. Keep doing what you're doing. Sometimes, we get lost in our goals and we feel like, damn, should I be doing this? Like, I don't know. But then the universe has a strange way of just giving you that pat on your back. Like, oh shit, no, you are on the right path. You are doing the right thing. Sometimes, you might get lost and it might seem dark, but it'll just come out of left field. Or when I see certain people, just rocking the brand, and they post it and then they just bigging it up, and I just gave them something. Shout out to Remy Ma, like that's the homie.
I seen that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
hard.
that's the homie. Like, I gifted us some stuff, but just to see like the amount of people that hit me like, yo, Remy, wearing your stuff on Instagram, where you like, and shout out to all the celebrities and everybody that have been supporting and rocking it. So, and all of that has been off the relationship and the love. I'm not going in there with the bag. I'm not chasing nobody around and doing none of that. It's very organic, and if you fuck with the message and you fuck with me, then you know what it is.
Nah, that's dope, bro.
Yeah.
That's super dope, man.
And I'm looking to collabo with, other brands and other emerging designers, graphic designers, painters. Me and Protect Your Heart had a collabo that came out. We working on something new right now.
Yeah.
I put it out there on AHA.
Yeah.
So look out for that new Black Billionaires Protect Your Heart collabo. We working on that now. And yeah, so, just expanding into different things. Like, I can't give out too much, but like I said, for holiday, we definitely got some good pieces for the home coming out as part of our home decor collection. Definitely more new apparel, and we just gonna keep moving forward.
Definitely, man. You can't have no events too, like with everything without inviting me, bro.
Oh, you ain't been to a lava party yet, man.
Nah, I ain't meet you yet.
You gotta lava party is not a Diddy party, no disrespect. I wouldn't say, and let's clarify that for the coach. It's not a Diddy freak off party because we all Diddy parties was the shit. Like, let's not get it fucked up. Whoever said the Diddy party, no. The Diddy freak offs, I don't know nothing about that. Never been there. Don't know nothing about that.
Right.
But we all are guilty, a lot of us. Yes, the Diddy parties was the shit. So do not front. But lava party is alive. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm gonna say.
Nah, for sure.
Lava party is live, and definitely, yeah. I'm working on something. I'm putting together something for the brand. We haven't done an actual. I haven't done an actual Black Billionaires party yet, and I want it to be something special and something dope. You know, for me, I was a promoter a lot of times and did tons of parties, and I like to create experiences. I want this shit to be so memorable that you never forget it. And that's what make people want to say, yo, you got to do that again, and you got to do that again, and just replicate that feeling, you know. And that's what was super dope about the pop-up picnic or any other events I've done. Is like you create this ambiance that's like unmatched. So yeah, Black Billionaires events 2025 coming soon.
Nah,
Coming
definitely,
soon.
man. I'm in there, man. You know, I'm business moving. I'm in there,
Right,
type shit. You know, the home decor though.
right,
That's like mad, like that was like that's rare.
right,
You know, because you got like a clothing brand and all that, but you just always had that expanded mindset.
right,
You know what I'm saying, from early,
right,
and that's like a lesson for real, like
right,
because you just think a lot of people think, and like me too, like from before, you think closed minded, but you don't know that you think closed minded.
right.
Like, all right, I'm gonna just sell these shirts, I'm gonna just sell this, whatever, but you know. Other people, like everybody could use home decor.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
yeah.
I mean, the idea came, like, is actually, for me, it's been in my mind for a long time because that's something that I shared with Dame at Rocafella. I was like, yo, we need to be like the Black Martha Stewart in them. Like, we need to have, like, pots and Rocafella tents. And so a lot of shit that Supreme started doing, it was like all these were ideas that I felt like, you know, urban brands, or I wouldn't say urban, but like Black brands should have been doing, you know, because when you look at what, you know, Martha Stewart or what Ralph was able to do with their brands, it's why wouldn't we do it as well, you know? And I always say, like, for me within the fashion world, is like, if somebody could have their whole house, whatever, like, what's your favorite brand?
What you mean, like just in general?
Yeah,
Like with clothes or something like that?
yeah, just apparel, just. Say Nike is your favorite sneaker,
yeah,
right?
Nike.
If your whole crib could be Nike, everything in your crib Nike, wouldn't you do it? If you could buy like a whole Nike branded crib.
Yeah. Yeah.
The couch is Nike, the refrigerator is Nike, the pots, the cups, the plates, the stove,
Yeah.
the mattress, the sheets. Why not do that for your brand?
That's crazy. That's crazy game right there.
You know, why not do that for your
Yeah.
brand? I think maybe it came from, and this is, people gonna be like, wow, I never thought about that. The idea for me came from the OPP Naughty by Nature video, because they had OPP sheets. And I was like, where do you buy those? Like, I need those for when the shorties come over. Like,
Yeah.
and they never sold them. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? So for me, that opened up my mind since back then, being a fan and being a consumer. Like,
Yeah.
oh, it's OPP sheets and a blanket. So when you bring the shorties over,
Yeah.
like, it's like, it's
They gonna think you down with OPP. And they gonna be on. Like I was saying, even if they wasn't going before, they gonna go.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So for me, that was just like, oh, it's a whole nother branding of merch and a whole nother market to get into, and the profit margins are great once you find the right manufacturers and really just build that out with your consumers.
Nah, that's real, man. You know what I mean? Coming close to the interview. It's your
For
boy
sure.
Business, aka the Show Venture. I vent about all your favorite shows and all that. Y'all know what I do. Get what I'm saying? And that last point you just said about having everything
Right.
to Nike or everything Black Billionaires.
Right.
Get what I'm saying? Just becoming a brand. Like whatever you doing, music, fashion, makeup artist, hairstylist, whatever you doing, become a brand. Because when you become a brand, like it's endless
Yes.
of what you could do. Like it's not just like, all right, you could just make clothes, you know what I'm saying? Or you could just make music.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Be the brand, because even with music, you be the brand. They rock with you as a brand. They're gonna support your music, even if you probably might not like it. They're gonna go click on it. They're gonna go stream it because they like you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so, like, I love that, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? I got Ant Lava with me.
Yes, sir.
Biggest.
Black is in the building.
Yeah.
What are you doing? I don't know, but we here. We here on the Love is Love show.
Yeah, we locked in, man. You gonna see something in the future with us going crazy.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out Rob Drewer,
No
Fresh.
doubt. Yeah, my guy.
You connected it and all that. We
No
here,
doubt.
man. You can follow me on Instagram, Business Moving. You know what I'm saying? TikTok, Business is Moving. Twitter, Business Moving. YouTube, Business Moving. We here, going businessandco.store. Get your Keep Going t-shirts. I had to give Ant Lava one beforehand. You know what I'm saying? We about to expand that too, because he just motivated me in the interview.
Got that Keep Going. You already know. You see my mission. Get rich.
Yeah.
You know, we out here to get wealthy, man. Follow me on Instagram at AntLavaNYC. Follow Black Billionaires at Black Billionaires Collection. And you already know, man. Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure, brother. We got a lot more to do, a lot more going on. The possibilities are endless, you know, and we live. It's love is
For
love.
sure, we live.
Thank
Ant
you
Lava.
for having me, brother.
Yeah.